Hey friends, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast with your host, Nicole
and Hannah. Come join us for some hopeful conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing.
Hey Chessies, we're back for another episode, and I'm so excited because today we're finally going to be starting a new segment we're calling Discussions by the Shore, where we share our thoughts on season 6 of Chesapeake Shores. So sit back, relax, and join us by the shore as we chat about the first 2 episodes of the new season, starting with episode 1, The Best Is Yet to Come.
For episode 1, the O'Brien family comes together in the aftermath of Connor's heart attack. Jess and David deal with media fallout after Dennis Peck goes on the run, and we finally discover who Abby called.
Oh, so much. There's so much in that. Just little description of episode 1.
Yes. The episode starts off with Abby, Bree, Megan, Mick, Kevin, and Margaret all at the hospital waiting on news about Connor after his heart attack. And Jess won't answer Abby's phone calls.
Oh, I mean, what did you think when you first watched this episode and we saw that first scene of them all at the hospital waiting anxiously to hear about Connor?
Well, it was a stressful scene.
Yeah.
For everyone. And I was wondering why Jess was not picking up the phone.
I know. I mean, that was a little bit strange because, I mean, all the O'Briens were there except for Jess and David. I mean, Sarah wasn't there either, but I mean, all the siblings were all there except for Jess. Yeah. And so I know I was definitely a little bit curious, like, okay, where's Jess? Why isn't she here? But I knew that, like, there was some other stuff going on with her and David, which we see soon enough. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like how they picked it right up where it left off in season 5, because the last time we saw the O'Briens, they were all, surrounding Connor, who was on the ground after a heart attack, or what we assumed was a heart attack, because I remember I think it was Margaret who yelled that he was having a heart attack, and that's where they left us, with that big cliffhanger. And so goodness. I'm definitely glad that it didn't like jump to like a different day, like after the fact. I'm glad that they picked right up at the hospital. I thought that was a great way to start the season.
Yeah, well done to all the writers, including Keith and Michael.
Oh yes, definitely.
The next scene is with Jess and David, so we start to hear about what's going on with them. Dennis has left the country. But we don't know why yet. Well, we kind of know why, but not where he went.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they left us in season 5. We really, we were a little bit in the dark. Like, we knew stuff was going on with like fraud and everything that was going on with, David's dad and his business and everything. So, I mean, there was a lot going on, and it's definitely good. Like, once again, like I said, with the Connor thing, where they pick right back up where they left off, we're picking right back up with, David having these problems with his dad. And now we hear that, he's left the country, and there's all this stuff going on. There's so much drama going on there. And so, I mean, definitely this season premiere was definitely packed full of drama from the very beginning, like lots of stuff going on.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments is David's conversation with Jess after talking to his mom, and just the support from her, which was really sweet.
Yeah, that was really sweet because, and Jess kind of brings this up too later on in the episode, but you typically in Chesapeake Shores, you usually see David comforting Jess. You never really see Jess having to be there for David. And she talks about that later on, as I just said. But it's really nice to see, her being there to support him. Because I feel like David, always seems to really have it together, and he doesn't really, show much emotion a lot of the time. And like now we're seeing that, he's showing a lot of emotion. He's very worried. He's very upset about what, he thinks his dad has done. And so it's really nice to see here just from the get-go that, Jess is there trying to be a supportive wife.
Yes. And the snuggling, that was cute.
Oh my goodness, yes. Those cute little married moments is so I've been waiting to see those for so long. So it's really sweet to see them together like that.
Is that the first time we have gotten a shirtless scene on Chesapeake Shores? I don't know.
I think so. I will say this season, and we will discuss this when we discuss certain other episodes that have recently premiered, but they are not shying away from showing certain things this season. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, this is Hallmark we're talking about. This isn't some other network. But in this respect, I think it was cute because it was very real.
Yeah. And it was very tastefully done. I mean, think of all the times that we have seen Charles Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie shirtless. So,
I mean, it's true. This is true. This is true.
I mean, that's a family-friendly show too. So
right. Yes. And these two are married, so it's okay.
Yes.
We're good.
Yes. Another favorite moment was very brief, but Bree paying for Margaret's coffee. That was really nice.
That was really sweet. I know. I definitely thought that was interesting. Like, I think, Margaret's just obviously she's so worried about Connor. I don't think she's really has a clear head. And I mean, Bree doesn't really either, but to just see Bree step up like that. And I mean, it was such like a minor thing. It really wasn't like that big of a deal. I mean, paying for a coffee is, it's not like this grand gesture or anything, but it was a really sweet, simple thing that she did for Margaret to just show that she's supporting her and that she's there. So I definitely appreciated that as well.
Yeah. I also loved Bree's conversation with Jess at the hospital about Abby and who she called.
Yes. First of all, we get the scene where, Jess finally reads her, gets the messages on her phone. She finally looks at it. We don't see that, but we see her calling, saying like she's apologizing, like she had no idea what was going on because other stuff was happening at home. But so now after she gets the call, obviously she comes to the hospital, and then of course we see those sister moments where they're talking about Abby and the two men. So good.
Bree says, Abby called somebody tonight and said she wanted to give it a try. Jess, she didn't. She did? She did. Who? Who'd she call? Evan? Jay? I don't know.
I love the banter between the two of them, how they're talking about Abby, obviously. Abby is not even aware of what's going on at this point, at least. And they're just chatting about it, as sisters should.
Yeah. Also, the reactions to Jay arriving and talking to Abby, as well as Evan and Mandrake arriving.
I know. And I love where the sisters, where I think Jess is like, she called Jay? I thought for sure it was Evan. And then she talks about how she was team Evan all the way. And I'm like, and I love how later Abby's like, there were teams. They're like, yeah, there's always teams.
Yeah. Bree says, she called Jay. Jess.
Yeah.
Really? I was team Evan all the way.
I know. And I'm like, yeah, me too, Jess. I'm with you there.
Oh my goodness.
Don't get me wrong. I liked Jay. I did.
Yes.
I liked him better in season 4 though. Season 5, he kind of went down a couple notches with, that whole scene between them where he gave her an ultimatum. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but Jay is still a good guy. I still like him.
Yes, he is.
But I'm team Evan all the way. Yes.
May I just say that I love the intro with the new clips. So good.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that song is just Chesapeake Shores.
Yes.
I mean, when I hear that song, I think Chesapeake Shores. And then to just see the new clips intermixed with the old clips because it's the last season, and to just see just how much all the characters have been through. Oh, so good.
Yes.
Yeah. Going back to when the two men show up, I don't even think Abby and Jay even hug each other, but when Evan gets there, they hug.
Yeah.
Did you see that? It was a very brief moment, but I was like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yes.
That was cute.
We also see at the hospital that Nick is trying to apologize to Megan about what he said around the campfire.
That's right.
Everything with
I
Connor.
appreciated that they brought that back in there because I mean that moment in the finale was that really
oh goodness,
irritated me. I was like, come on guys, come on. You're finally getting back together. no more drama, please.
Yeah.
I'm so done with this drama. And of course they had to throw that in the finale when everything seemed to be going well. And so it was nice to see Mick apologize. That was pretty big of him.
Yeah. The nurse comes in to give an update on Connor. He's out of immediate danger. He suffered a severe myocardial infarction. They also found deep vein thrombosis in his leg and blood clots in his lungs. They've stabilized him, but may need to do more, possibly angioplasty or bypass surgery. They don't know yet if he will fully recover, but time will tell. In the meantime, he will need rest. The heart muscle begins to heal quickly and takes usually about 8 weeks to recover. He'll need to be on a regimen of blood thinners and statins, and will have to change his diet, cut out alcohol, and begin an exercise program.
Connor, so much going on for such a young fellow. Like, what in the world?
Oh, goodness.
Like, Connor, you need to take it easy, my friend. I mean, he's not even like mid-30s yet. He's not even like barely 30 if he is even 30. like
yeah.
Like, man. No, poor guy.
I loved the moment with Connor, Mick, and Megan at the hospital. That was a nice scene with parents and their son.
I really like how, Megan stood up to the nurse too when she says only one person could come back. She's like, no, 2 people can. She's like, no, we're both his parents. She didn't say it, but basically that's what she was saying. No, we're his parents. We're going.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated, Megan for, considering Mick as well and not just thinking about herself, and the fact that they both needed to be there.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, that was a nice moment.
We hear that Connor was very young when his grandpa Charlie passed away from a heart attack and barely remembers him.
Right. See, so it definitely kind of seems to run in the family. So, I mean, it's good that, he's getting this taken care of now and not at a later date when it would be too late. But that is a tough pill to swallow.
I love the support from both Jay and Evan. And Mandrake
going
back
to this, that was so funny. And I love their little banter too, how like Jay said one thing about like getting better, and then Evan said something similar, and he's like, I didn't say it like that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, those two. So funny.
The moment when Margaret was pretending to be Connor's sister and Bree was pretending to be adopted.
I know. I was like, out of all of them, like, they're gonna believe that? Like, I mean, I get it. She was trying to be nice, kind to Margaret. I get it. So like that, like, it was a humorous moment, but at the same time, like, really, Bree, like, she's gonna buy that?
The nurse was not buying that. She's like,
I know, no, of course not. No.
But it was thinking that it was gonna be the other way around. Like, Margaret was gonna say she was.
I know, right? Well, I mean, give it to Bree for being kind and trying to say, oh, I'm the adopted. We're not wanting to put that on Margaret,
Yeah.
But still, like, I was like, really, Bree, come on. But that was a humorous moment.
Yes.
Going back to in the waiting room, I also like where we see that scene with Mandrake, how he comes up to Kevin. Yeah. And he comments on his past with the military, how he can tell from his stance and like his shoes, the way he ties his shoes. I thought that was a really interesting scene for the writers to put in there, because we really haven't heard about Kevin's past since maybe like season 1, season 2. Yeah. They really haven't brought it up to just see that, Kevin, is still defined by, he's still, remembers, his past, and he's still maybe carrying a little bit of a load from that too. And the fact that Mandrake sees that and notices that was really interesting. And I really like that the writers put that in there, even though it was such a small scene. But I'm wondering if that's going to come into play later on.
I don't know.
In Kevin's life. It could. We'll see.
Yeah. I love how Mandrake said, though I don't wear boot pants very often, Kevin says, old habits are hard to break.
Yep.
And then Mandrake says, once a trooper, always a trooper.
Always a trooper. Yep.
I also wrote in my notes, Mandrake served in Iraq. What?
I know. That doesn't really surprise me, though, honestly. Doesn't really surprise me. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I mean, he gets it. But I love Mandrake. I just love Mandrake. Come on. We all need a Mandrake in our life. Come on.
Yeah. I love the conversation between Connor and Margaret at the hospital. That was a nice moment. Connor says, how am I ever going to forgive you? Margaret says, wait, why? That kiss, you almost killed me.
A little cheesy, a tad bit cringy, but sweet at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. That was a pretty that was a pretty spicy scene.
Yeah. We also hear Connor tell her in the scene that he knows she didn't sign up for this, and if she wants to call it quits on their relationship, he'll totally understand.
Yeah. That hurt my heart a little bit when I heard him say that, because I'm like, it's so true. I mean, that's really sweet of him to say.
Yeah.
But not easy for him to say. I mean, they really just started whatever this is.
Yeah.
And I mean, just bam, like this happens. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
That really puts a damper on things. And I'm sure, like, you know, I mean, it was really big of Connor to be able to, you know, he really does care about her.
Yeah.
And he's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about her. So that was nice to see.
Yeah. The car ride with Evan and Mandrake.
Yes, let's talk about this glorious scene. Love this scene. It's gold for so many reasons.
It's like, I have 35 voicemails. Who even leaves voicemails anymore?
Can we just talk about the fact that Evan hasn't listened to these 35 voicemails, and he makes Mandrake listen to all his voicemails for him? Like, come on, Evan, come on.
Would you like me to screen them and give you a report, sir?
Yes. Like, come on, Evan, you're a big guy. Come on, you can do this yourself. You don't need Mandrake to do everything for you. Oh, it's so funny, though. I love it. I love these scenes between the two of them. They're just so good.
Yes. Listening to the voicemail from Abby, and just a little refresher. Abby's voicemail says, Hi, it's Abby. So I was just calling to tell you that I've been thinking about you, and I think maybe we should give us a try. Call me back. Bye. And then Evan says, quite right, Mandrake. Quite right. Play that again.
I love how surprised he was too. And can we just talk about the fact that he didn't listen to this until after they saw each other at the hospital? So then how awkward he must feel. Like, he talks about this with Mandrake. Like, she didn't know that I didn't listen to this, and she's probably wondering why I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, the timing. Like, it couldn't have been more wrong, but then at the same time, it couldn't have been more right either. It's just so funny. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. The sister to sister conversation with Abby, Bree, and Jess at the hospital when both Jay and Evan have left, as well as Mandrake, and she sits down and she's like, that is interesting. And then the looks Bree and Jess give Abby, and Bree says, what is interesting?
What's interesting?
Abby says, he didn't say anything about the message I left him. Who didn't say anything about the message you left? Tell us, please.
Who did you call? Jess.
And then she throws the magazine.
I love at this point how Abby's just not gonna tell them. She's just like, nope, you can figure it out. I'm not telling you right now. I can't deal with it.
Nope. Jumping back to David and his situation, he finds an article about his dad, who is wanted on suspicion of securities fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, and money laundering.
I mean, how many cases of fraud can he be wanted for? Like, what? Crazy. It's like, what in the world is going on? I mean, I have to say, I mean, we've only seen like a little bit of like a preview of, you know, kind of David's conversation and saying how he's innocent. But I mean, I honestly think he's being set up. Like, I'm just going to say it from episode 1. I don't think it's what it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. We even saw in
the trailer,
one of the trailers, that clip of him on the phone, and he says something about how he thinks he's being set up.
Yeah, and I believe him, even though that we've only seen like a smidgen of a clip, not very long. But I mean, I believe him, and I mean, when I heard everything was going on last season too, I was like, I don't think it's what it seems. I don't think, you know, he did this. I mean, I'm sure he did something, but I don't think it's what they're accusing him of.
Yeah, I agree. Jumping to Megan and Mick, they have a conversation in the car after they get back home, and Megan doesn't want to take the job at the Getty. She wants to stay in Chesapeake Shores to help take care of Connor.
As she should. I think she should do that. I mean, she left them for so long, and she finally came back, and she's finally rebuilt her relationship with her kids. And, and then this happens to Connor. I mean, how could she? She's a mother. How could she leave him again?
Yeah.
Especially during a time like this. So, I mean, I think it shows a lot of growth from Megan's point of view that, she's able to say that and say, no, I'm not going to leave him this time.
Yeah. Mick saying, it's not because of what I said, is it? Megan says, don't give yourself that much credit, Mick. My son needs me. I won't leave him this time.
I know. That makes me want to cry when I hear that.
And then
Mick, she seems so sincere and so like she's like, no, you're not changing my mind.
Yeah. And Mick says, Megs, I'm glad you're here.
Megs. I heard that. My heart melted a little bit. I was like, Megs, so cute.
That was really cute. Okay, can we just talk about Evan Mandrake and the stray cat? Because
yes, let's do it. Yes. That scene. First of all,
the cat.
I'm a huge cat person. I know. I love cats. So the fact that they, added this scene with a random cat in Evan's bed, I was like, yes, give me cats. Yes, more cats, please. At first, so I thought it was Evan's cat. I was like, oh, he's a cat person. I like him even more.
At first,
and then we find out that it's a stray cat. I was like, oh man, still love it though.
At first, I thought it was Evan's cat too. I was like, okay, what's this cat doing here? How did we not know he had a cat?
You should have a cat.
Evan calling Mandrake and saying, Mandrake, do we have a cat?
We have a cat?
Mandrake's like, not to my knowledge, sir. Well, we do now.
No. Yeah.
Trying to come funny. Up with a name
with
for the
names.
Cat. Cindy Clawford, Katie Purry. And then Mandrake says, well, first of all, sir, he's more of a Cat Damon or LeVar Burton. And secondly, why not give him a more respectable cat name like Felix? And thirdly, he just wandered in here, sir.
Once again, the banter between these two is so good.
Yeah. And then talking about the food that the cat is eating.
I know. Wesley and Robert played these characters so well. They have such good acting chemistry.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Mandrake believes Evan might be using the cat as a distraction to think about his next move with Abby. And Evan admits that that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, very, very perceptive. Once again, we all need a Mandrake. Apparently, Mandrake is also a mind reader. Yeah. And some sort of a therapist.
Yeah. Another favorite moment is when Evan was asking Mandrake for advice about the voicemail. He doesn't know what to do, and he says that he doesn't want to call Abby right now because he knows she's worried about Connor. He also believes if he waits too long, she'll think that he's avoiding the issue and that he's not interested when he is.
Okay. Well, first of all, I appreciated seeing this side of Evan because, you really see that he's really thinking about, what's best for Abby in this moment. Yeah. Like, he doesn't just want to not respond, but at the same time, he realizes that she knows she's going through something with her brother right now. And he doesn't want to disturb that. And he wants to be respectful of that. Which, I really appreciate it because I think, typically, you see Evan in one light, but I think, you're seeing a whole nother side of Evan here, is like a more caring side. And that's really nice to see. And I appreciate that. And it's nice to see, him trying to do the right thing here. So
I totally agree. We get our first porch swing conversation in season 6.
Yes, we love those.
Between Abby and Bree. We hear that Connor will be home in a few days, and they start talking about his situation, and Bree says every day is a gift. Abby says it does put things in perspective. Like all the little things that we were worried about seem pretty insignificant. Bree says, like who you called last night? Abby says, like that.
Yeah. So who is it? Bree wants to know.
She told Bree she called Evan. And Bree says,
yes.
Jess's team, Evan. We're teams?
Yep.
Yeah, there were teams. Of course.
Yep.
There are always teams.
Oh, yeah. That brings me back to another show.
I was about to say that.
We don't need to talk about that, but
I was about to say that. This was a funny.
Yes.
This was a funny moment, but I can't help but think of
yes.
the reference that they're possibly making.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Hardy's know what we're talking about.
Another funny moment, Evan talking to Mandrake about reaching out to Abby about the voicemail. And Evan suggesting that he sends her a text. Evan says, just listen to your voicemail. Yay! TTYL. And Mandrake says, sir. And Evan's like, yeah, that was terrible. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Only Evan. Yeah, that's funny.
I also love how he thinks he should wait a few days till he knows everything is okay with Connor before.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, I think he knows too, that he needs to tell her.
Yeah.
He needs to at least say, you know what, like I did listen. Like, yeah. So I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah. I loved the moment with Bree and Luke and their coffee date at Sally's.
Yes, finally we see Bree and Luke together. Yay.
Yes. I've never seen this, but I loved the Les Miserables reference.
I know, of course they have to do some sort of literary type reference, and I like how we see that, you know, Luke definitely knows his literary references.
Yeah. Jumping back to David again, he hears from his sister Alex. The press is having a field day about their father. David says everybody loves it when the rich get what they have coming to them. Alex is even more upset with their dad than he is. And they're both afraid that he's going to take them down with him.
I really do feel for them. That's a really rough position to be in, especially since, you know, like how well known his family is. And I mean, that's a lot at stake there. Yeah. So I definitely feel for their family.
This was a favorite moment between Jess and David when she's being supportive of him in this moment. And she says, you are not alone in this. Remember that. I'm here. David says, thank you. I think I really needed to hear that. And then the kiss and the hug.
I know.
You can see him just breaking down.
I know. Once again, we never see this side of David. We only see it from Jess. So it's really nice to see, you know, David, you know, see David has a, you know, I mean, not that he's not human, but it definitely makes him more human to see this. Yeah. Because I feel like, you know, he's just so put together all the time, and he just kind of, you know, just goes with the flow kind of guy. And so it's really nice to see, you know, that he's able to, you know, let his emotions out, and to see that, you know, Jess is able to be there and be supportive, as I said earlier. So yeah, that was a very sweet moment, but also it's definitely hard to see David like that.
Yes, definitely. Abby and Evan talking about the voicemail. So she's in the office and he comes in, and they have a conversation.
Finally.
She tells him that she has accepted his offer of a date, like she mentioned in the voicemail. And they come to the realization it was all a misunderstanding.
Wait. Abby, come on. You haven't even let him speak yet. She's like tried to take back what she said already. I'm like, Abby, no. Just wait.
When they're talking about it being a misunderstanding, Abby says, "We've had a lot of those." And Evan says, "Charming, isn't it?" Abby, in movies it's charming. In real life, it's annoying.
It's just annoying.
We can agree to disagree on that.
I love how Evan's just like, no, this is all good. Like, I love this. And Abby's just like, this is just annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. They negotiate about the date and making it not 1, but 2. When Evan is talking about the first date, he says, "On the first date, we're bound to be a little nervous, trying to put our best foot forward. But on the second date, we'll be more ourselves." And Abby says, "Are you negotiating our date?"
Of course, it's Evan. He's always negotiating something.
Yeah.
It's in his nature, of course.
He wants to arrange the details of the first date, and she wants to arrange the details of the second date.
See, I like already though how they're they're like being really serious about this. Like, they're taking it very seriously, and it's like they're already planning to have a second date, knowing that they're gonna like the first date enough to want to have a second one. So I like that.
Yes. Luke and Bree's walk and conversation in the woods. I loved this scene.
This was
so really
sweet. It was so cute. First of all, they're holding hands. How cute is that? Walking through a forest. I mean, that's such like a storybook moment. It's just so cute.
Yeah.
And then I love how Luke's just talking about how he likes where this is going.
Yeah. He says,
the two of them.
He says, "I know I'm not your usual type." And Bree says, "Turns out my usual type never really agreed with me." So, and then she asks him what his type was. He says, "Smart, hot, best-selling novelist." Bree's like, okay. And Luke says, "They don't grow on trees, Bree says, "Why didn't I put that in my description of my dating profile instead of tired, nervous writer? I'll never know."
It is cute though. It's cute.
Jumping forward to Nick, he is still taking the pills and ready to get the cast off.
Still popping pills. I mean, last season when I saw that, I was like, this is not gonna be good. This is just no. And now this season we already see it. Nick, why?
And my brain is a little foggy, so remind me why he was in the cast again.
The plane crash.
Yes.
Yeah, and he crashed the plane and hurt his arm. And so they're painkillers, but painkillers are not what they crack up to be. They can be, very dangerous if you continue to take them.
Yeah.
Oh, Mick. Just one more thing the O'Brides need to handle right now.
In this scene, he is talking to Abby, and he wants to know about Luke and Bree, and Abby tells him that he should just ask one of them himself.
Yeah. No, don't get Abby involved in this.
No.
And first of all, too, Luke is not a bad guy.
No.
He doesn't need to be worried about Bree.
No,
she's a big girl.
Nick says that he likes him.
Yeah, he does like him, but you can tell he's not too thrilled with the idea of Bree being with him.
I think he's just concerned about the past with him.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, which is very understandable, but at the same time, I think, he doesn't need to worry about that.
Yes.
Bree's a big girl. She knows what she's doing. But he is being a good father too at the same time. But asking Abby about it.
Yeah. Connor coming home from the hospital, that was a nice brief moment when we see Kevin helping him, kind of lending his shoulder, and Carrie and Caitlin come in and say hi, and they ask if he's okay. We also get a mention of Nell and her chicken soup.
Know. Yes. I was just going to say I miss Nell. It's so weird to not have her be here. I'm glad that they still talk about her, though, as if she is there.
David gets a visit from FBI agent Malik.
Oh, that scene annoyed me so much. I was just like, please just leave him alone. Like, he knows nothing. He's not gonna help you. He can't help you. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, she says, how do you know he left the country? David, it's all over the internet.
Yeah.
She says, right, you believe everything you see on the internet? David says, what do you want? Agent Malik, me? Nothing. David, look, if you think I'm shielding my father, you are very much mistaken. He deceived me as much as everyone.
David would never,
No.
never do that.
Then she threatens him by saying, if he hears from his father and doesn't let them know, he will be aiding and abetting a felon. David wouldn't do that.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, that scene really, really annoyed me a lot. I was just like, just leave David alone. He knows nothing. Just go.
And Jess isn't buying it.
Yep. Nope.
We definitely need more Uncle Connor moments. I loved when he was playing the game with Carrie and Caitlin. That was priceless.
Yes, that was really funny. We don't really see that too often, Connor and his nieces. So that was a nice change to see that. Yeah.
The facial expression from Connor after Caitlin tells him to roll the dice.
Yeah, he's like, I've had it with this game. He doesn't get the game at all. He's just like, I'm done.
Margaret comes in and saves the day with work duties. So he doesn't have to play the game anymore.
Of course. Yeah.
And while we're there, why don't we just talk about that scene with them on the porch? I love how she says, you're a very resilient man, O'Brien. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
She stops by because she has mail from the office to give him, as well as some paperwork he has to sign. Connor spoke with Dr. Yang, and she said that it'll be a couple of months before he can go back to work, maybe more. He's afraid he's going to have to close down the office, and mentions to Margaret that she'll probably have to find other work. She assures him that she can keep things going at the office for a little while, since she's a paralegal and they don't have many hard cases yet. And she's scheduled to take the bar exam that month, which is exciting.
Yeah. She's a busy lady.
Yeah.
And a very determined lady too.
Yes. She tells him if he'll just sign a few papers, she can do the heavy lifting and be able to keep things going for at least a month. And then Connor agrees to everything.
I think it's good Connor has her because, I mean, right now, the last thing he needs to worry about is, his job and all the workload that he left. And so the fact that, Margaret's just, she's very focused and very driven. And the fact that, she's going to be taking the bar pretty soon and that so that she can take some of that weight off of him is really helpful. So I think it's really good that he has her.
Yeah. I thought the kiss was really sweet. And Margaret says, how was that? Connor says, my heart's beating a little bit faster, but in all the right ways.
Aw. Yeah, that's sweet.
After that, we hear Carrie and Caitlin shouting about the game.
Of course.
And then they look at each other and Connor says, I do not get that game.
I don't get that game.
Mick stops by the bridge and has a conversation with Luke. He basically confronts him about
Here we go.
Bree.
Here we go. I don't know how I feel about that scene. I mean, I get it. He's being a dad, he's being concerned, but at the same time, once again, I said, this is Luke. And, I feel like Luke is really in a tough spot. I mean, I'm not saying what he did was okay, but like he's learned from his mistakes and he knows what he did. And I don't think, I don't think people should hold him accountable for that.
Yeah, I agree. I do love how Mick says, if you ever hurt her, I will track you down and I will make you very, very sorry. Luke's like, I believe you.
Whoa. Okay, Mick. All right. We're going that far with this. Okay.
Nick also basically offers Luke a promotion to manager because the current manager, Jordan, is moving since his wife got a job in Roanoke.
I mean, that's really nice. I mean, I'm sure that's like a big boost of confidence that Luke needs, because Mick was just a little bit scary confronting him about Bree, and then all of a sudden, complete 180. Oh, I'm going to offer you a job now. So it's like, I mean, that was nice. That was nice, but I mean, two different sides of Mick right there. Yeah.
Bree hears about it, and she has a conversation with her dad on the back porch. I believe in the next scene.
Yes.
And she asks him, did you offer Luke a promotion? And he tells her yes. And then they start talking about the relationship. And Mick wants to know why she didn't tell him that she is seeing Luke. Bree says, 1, it's because she didn't know she had to, and 2, she's not quite ready to share it with the world yet. She doesn't know why she's not ready to share it with the world. Mick says because he went to prison, and Bree says maybe, but I mean, why should that matter? I mean, Martin went to Yale and he was a total jerk, so
I love how she compared it to Martin. I'm like, yeah, Martin didn't go to jail, but look what all the other stuff Martin did. So, no comparison. Luke is way better than Martin.
Can we just talk about that view for a second before it cuts to the next scene? Because
I know.
I want to sit on the O'Brien's back porch and have a conversation with them.
I'm so envious of that view. So pretty.
Yeah. This moment between Bree, Abby, and Jess. Sister time.
Yes, I love sister time.
And the ice cream, of course.
Of course. We can't. What is O'Brien sibling time without a tube of ice cream? Or 2 or 3, depending on how many O'Briens are there. But I love those moments. Yeah. So good.
Jess is talking about David, and she says, I don't know if I'm up for it. This is referring to the situation with David and not knowing if she's up for being as supportive as she needs to.
Yes. And see, like, I think that's really big of Jess too, because it's showing the growth that she has to be able to admit that she has this fear that she's not sure if she's up to it, because, Jess is always, like I said before, Jess is always the one who needs that support. And, now it's her turn to be a support for her husband. And, I think, it's hard for her, but she wants to be that support. So I like that moment, just being real and, talking about her fears.
I also love how Abby says, hey, you are up for it. And Bree says, yeah, you're stronger than you think you are.
Yeah. I like the support between the sisters.
After Jess talks about everything going on with her and David, Bree starts talking about her writing and Luke. She hasn't written anything in a few months, but then that morning, a short story popped into her head. She hasn't written anything down yet and mentions that it needs to live in her brain for a while first. Jess says, wait a minute, does this story have anything to do with the family? And Bree's like, no, not this time.
I love how Jess just had to ask that, because she's still traumatized from that when Bree wrote about that. I think the whole family is. Good on Bree, though. Not this time.
We get to Abby, and she almost shares everything going on with her. And then she gets interrupted by the phone, and I think she says,
why's Mandrake calling?
Phone.
Right. And and she sees that it's Mandrake calling.
Yeah. And Jess says, I wish I had a Mandrake. If I had a Mandrake, I could do anything. And Bree says,
I know.
If you had a Mandrake, you wouldn't have to do anything. And Jess is like, Same diff.
True.
Yeah. Can we just talk about those reactions from all three of them when
they see the boat out the window? Oh my goodness. I mean, same. Like, what in the world, Evan? This is a first date, not an anniversary.
Oh my god. But Bree and Jess's face, that was priceless. Just like,
I know, like jaw dropped. Like they can't even believe what is going on right now.
I think Jess even like turned her head. She's like,
I can't believe. I know. Yeah.
And Bree's eyes just got really big.
I know. That was so funny. And I love how like when they skip to, you know, the scene outside where she sees Evan and we saw this in the preview, but she was talking about how like she doesn't think she's dressed for this date. And he's like, I think you look perfect. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So sweet.
I do have to admit, he looked pretty good in that suit.
Oh yeah. Evan does look good in a suit. That's for sure.
That he got from Rome.
Rome. Just a suit from Rome. It's fine. No biggie.
Yeah.
Evan.
Favorite moment, Abby and Evan on their first date on the boat.
Yes.
First, we got to talk about the lobster dinner and the compliment from Evan about her dress and how beautiful she's.
First of all, Abby, she was just in sweats, and then all of a sudden she goes and changes into this ball gown. Like, girl, where did you get this ball gown?
I loved that dress. She looked beautiful. But at the same time, I wonder, did she get in the smaller boat in that dress?
True.
Bigger boat?
Yeah, true. Good point. Minor details. That is a good point. I don't know how she could do that, but it's fine.
The magic
Whatever.
of TV.
Right. She did look beautiful, but I'm just saying that dress was a bit much for this, I think. But whatever.
Evan had the lobster flown in from Maine. I love Evan's line when he says, Mandrake is many things, but a chef he is not. I do all my own cooking.
I was very impressed by that. I was finally too. Evan does something that Mandrake can't do. Good job, Evan.
Yeah. The dance and the almost kiss.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that conversation. They kept talking about it too. I was like, whoa, okay, we're talking about that. Okay.
Can we just briefly mention the flourless cake comment?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know.
He's like, would you like some dessert? Flourless chocolate cake.
Oh my, Evan. But yeah, no, that conversation, what did you think about that almost kiss conversation?
I thought it was a nice conversation.
Yeah. It was a nice conversation, but kind of surprising considering they're only on their first date.
Yeah.
And the amount that they were talking about it. But at the same time, I kind of appreciated that. I appreciated that, Evan wants to take things slowly. I appreciate that, he was open with her about that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He pulled away from the kiss because he doesn't want to rush things and knows that he tends to get carried away by things. He throws himself into things without thinking them through. An example, buying the boat that day and not knowing anything about them.
Right.
Impulsiveness has wreaked havoc with his romantic relationships, and they tend to burn out. So they agree they won't kiss that night, but they will someday when it's time. And then he starts to kiss her again, and she's like,
nope. But no, I really appreciate Evan there. Like, I mean, that was really big of him, to admit that. And the fact that he knows that shows a lot of growth from Evan. So, I mean, good on him for that. And I appreciated that, Abby said, nope. You just told me this. We're not doing this now. No. So they both showed some self-preservation there, which is good. We appreciated that. So
yeah,
I
agree.
And that takes us to the end of episode 1.
Yes.
A very packed full episode.
Yeah. Now on to episode 2. Memories are made of this. Abby goes all out to plan the perfect second date. David's family makes a surprise visit to the B&B, and Megan must consider whether to take the job offer at the Getty or help Connor recover. Right off the bat, my first favorite scene in the episode, the girls' movie night with Abby, Carrie, Caitlin, Bree, and Megan watching The Princess Bride while eating ice cream and popcorn.
Yes, that was so nice. It's such a change to see Megan there, because, and the girls too, because you really only typically see the siblings having a moment like that. So to see them with Megan and also Abby's 2 daughters was really kind of a special moment. That was really sweet.
Kevin and Connor playing chess. This was another moment that I really loved.
Yes, I love to see those moments with the brothers hanging out together.
Kevin and Sarah have been talking and think it would be best to postpone their trip to Maui until Connor is fully recovered. Connor mentions that it's not necessary and that they deserve to get away. Kevin says, "You're not just saying that because I've won 2 straight games, are you?" Connor's like, "It's a bit of both."
Yeah. First of all, it's really nice to hear that, Kevin and Sarah are planning to spend this time, go on vacation together, because when we last saw them in season 5, they just gone through the miscarriage, and you kind of saw them, going through it and having a rough time. So to hear that, they were planning to take this time to go on vacation together, to just get away and to spend some quality time together, I think that's really good. And so I'm glad that, Connor is, of course, like encouraging him to still go. And I mean, it's nice to see that, Kevin's also taking his brother into consideration, saying like, maybe we shouldn't go because of everything that's going on with you right now. But then to see, they're both trying to be supportive of each other. And then, of course, they have to throw some humor in there as well and teasing each other a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love those moments when you get to see the brothers bonding. It's really nice.
Yeah. I loved when Margaret stopped by to see Connor, and she wants to know how he's doing. He also offers to help her study for the bar exam, which she says is the following week, Thursday and Friday, I believe, were the days that she said.
Yeah.
Then Megan comes in and she says, "Well, I hope this doesn't count as criminal trespass," because the question Connor
right was criminal
asking,
trespass. Yes. That was funny.
She gives him the kale smoothie. Connor says, "Yummy."
I gotta say, I used to feel the same way. Anytime I heard kale was in something before, I would shy away from it like immediately, like, no way am I eating that. But over the years, like I guess in the past year or so, I've actually grown to kind of like the taste of kale. I mean, it's very good for you. And so now, like, I'm finding that they're finding ways to make it taste good if it's in the right thing. But I definitely felt for Connor there, and it's definitely a humorous scene because I get that.
I love when Megan walks away, Connor is still holding the glass with the kale smoothie, and he tells Margaret, "I don't care how healthy it is, it still tastes like fresh cut grass through a blender."
He has a point. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We saw this in the promo for episode 2 before it aired. Bree, Jess, and Abby's conversation on the back porch when they are talking about the second date with Evan.
Yes, Abby's trying to figure out where she should take Evan on their second date. And of course, as we would expect from these two, Jess and Bree, have their own ideas about what Abby should do.
Yeah. Bree was talking about her second date with a guy named Peter, who was a musician and had a beard. They went to a carnival. Jess goes on to talk about the best date she had with David, which was on the beach.
Yes, on the beach, and they were gonna have a picnic on the beach, but then unfortunately David does get sick.
He got food poisoning from bad clams.
Right. Yeah. And I love how the girls are like, that doesn't sound very romantic. But then Jess goes on to talk about how, getting to take care of David.
Yeah.
She really got to know a lot about him, and, the walls came down. And I thought that was so sweet to hear Jess talk about that, because that is so true. I think, it's in those moments where, you really, get to be there for that person and help them, and you see, their true colors, especially when they're sick, and having to take care of them. I think that really shows if you really do love that person or not, if you're willing to do that. And the fact that, for Jess, that's like the best date for her, because those walls came down and she really got to know him and take care of him. It's just really sweet, I think.
Yeah. Bree suggesting to Abby she and Evan go to a snake farm. No, thank you.
Bree, what are you doing?
No, thank you.
Evan, can you imagine Evan at a snake farm?
I
could just see it now, the snakes, all climbing all over him and trying to strangle him. I could just see that.
We see Jess and David at the B&B, and they are talking about the beach date and the bad clams.
Yes, that was really sweet. I like that she brought that up to him.
I thought the kiss was really sweet. He said, and you took such good care of me, or something along those lines.
So sweet. So sweet. Love them.
Yes, me too. David's mom, Deidre, shows up at the B&B. She had to get out of Boston. She didn't call because it was a last-minute decision and wanted to make sure she wasn't being followed. The press and FBI won't leave her alone and keep asking her the same question over and over again. Her friends want nothing to do with her. She can't sleep or eat, and she keeps going over in her mind if Dennis said anything that might give them a clue as to where he went, but he just left.
Yeah.
Tough
that
situation.
That would be a hard situation to be in, especially knowing David's parents.
Yeah.
And just how they are. To see David's mother like this is just, it's so strange. It's so weird.
I believe she even asks for gin and tonic after Jess offers her more water. And David's like, I don't think that's such a good idea.
No, that's not a good idea. No. I appreciate David for saying that, because that is not a good idea. No.
Yeah. Another favorite moment, Bree and Luke after brunch.
We also see that we're at Bree's new house.
Yes, that beautiful house.
Yes, very nice house for a writer.
Yeah.
But she's only renting it, which we find out later. But yes, very nice.
We hear Luke tell Bree in that scene that he read a lot of cookbooks while in prison as well. So he knows a lot about food too.
Of course he does. That's pretty cool though.
Yes. I love when they talk about the Trivial Pursuit party in Scrabble. That was funny. And Bree's like, well, maybe that's not such a good idea. My family's very competitive.
Yeah. Probably not the best idea.
Bree wants Luke to read her new short story about redemption, which is set in prison.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was worried too.
She's going there.
Yeah. I loved the mother-son moment between Megan and Connor. It wasn't very long, but this was after Megan got off the phone with Carter about the job offer with the Getty.
Yeah.
Megan wants to know how much he heard of the conversation. And he tells her that he heard enough and that she needs to take the offer. Megan says, honey, I can't leave you right now. Connor says, yes, you can. You talked to the cardiologist. She said, I'm doing great. I'm getting better every day.
Connor, come on. I'm sorry. Like, I know, like, in this episode, like, they're all trying to have a united front and they want to push her to go, which I get. They want her to follow her dreams because it is an amazing opportunity. But I am a firm believer that, family should be first, especially since, Megan left them for so long. No, she needs to stay. Of course she's going to stay. She shouldn't. No, family is way more important.
Bree and Luke on the back porch. They are talking about her short story for the first time since he's read it. Luke believes it's well written, but she didn't quite capture it, and it doesn't really ring true. He also mentions that prison is a mixture of terror and boredom, and the story is like someone looking from the outside in.
Right. And we find this out after Bree probes him to tell her the truth, because he says it's very well written at first and he doesn't want to tell her that she doesn't quite capture it. But Bree asked for it, though. She needs to remember that she's the one who asked him for it. He was just going to let it go. Yeah. But she asked for it. Yep. And so, of course, I mean, I know it's hard to hear, Bree, that you don't want to be criticized for your work, that you didn't capture it. But, you're talking to somebody who's been there. So, of course, like, you shouldn't be frustrated at him for telling you the truth, because this is real life. If she wants to write a story like that, she should do it. She should know how it actually is.
I love the moment when she's reading part of it and she gets to the line about cellmate, and Luke says, nobody says cellmate. We say celly.
Celly.
What?
That is interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I loved the moment between Kevin, Mick, and Connor in the storage shed. First, it's just Kevin and Mick, and then Connor comes in.
Yeah.
Kevin is telling Mick about his and Sarah's trip to Maui. Connor comes in, and he and Kevin start playing a game. The line from Kevin after Connor scores, he says, "Fine, but I still beat you at chess."
Can't give it to him. Come on, Kev. Just because Connor's sick, he's not going to let him down that easily. Typical big brother.
Yeah. Nick finding the big stuffed bunny that Jess loved as a kid. Kevin says,
"That's terrifying.
I always thought that Captain Carrot was super creepy."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, creepy. Yeah. That's funny.
Connor starts asking Mick about Megan and the job offer at the Getty, and he goes on to say how they were planning to travel the world, and then she got the job offer and he had heart attack. And this line from Mick, he says, "If you want to make God laugh, just tell him your plan."
True. Yeah.
Mick tells Connor that he'll support Megan whatever she decides to do about the job offer, which I thought was nice.
Yes, I think that's the way to do it. But yes. Still a firm believer she needs to stay there, though.
Yes.
I stand by that.
Yeah. I also love when Mick says, "One man's junk is another man's treasure." And Connor says, "Haven't you ever heard of a garage sale?" Right. Mick says, "What would I sell? This is my stuff." Kevin says, "You know what? You can start with this thing," referring to the bunny, and he throws it back at Mick. And then Mick starts trying to scare Connor with it, and he's like, "Ah!"
Of course.
And then Connor's like, "Creepy."
Funny. That's funny.
Abby and Evan in the office. I loved the banter in this scene.
I love that, where she tells him about she wants to take him to a jazz club, and he tries to play it off as if, he likes jazz. He's like, "No, I can't lie. I hate jazz."
Yeah. It sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Right.
And then she's like, "Oh, okay, so you really hate jazz."
Yeah. And then they talk about as if like Abby says, like, what if I hated boats?
Yeah. Also, before that, just really briefly, I have to mention Evan echoing the name of the ship, Sapphire.
Oh yeah, of course.
That was hilarious.
Yes, Evan. Evan's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Robert Buckley Jr. plays that part.
He's
perfectly.
so good. He's perfect as Evan. So good. So good. Best addition to the cast.
Yeah. Besides Mandrake.
Oh yeah. No, of course. Wesley plays that perfectly as well.
I mean, everyone's great, of course.
Yes.
Connor playing another game with Carrie and Caitlin. I loved this scene too. He won 3 times in a row. Connor says, "Why do I get the impression that you two are letting me win?" And then, Carrie and Caitlin try to play it off.
Yeah.
And Caitlin tells Connor how she's going to destroy him in Monopoly tomorrow.
Yeah. She's like, all right, you're ready to do this for real? Oh, I'm gonna destroy you.
Margaret comes by and brings Connor more mail from the office, including bills. Very fun.
Lovely. Just what Connor wants to deal with right now.
I love when they start talking about the bar exam and Connor says, "I just want you to pass with flying colors. I have no doubt that you will."
That's sweet.
Yes, it is. Talking about the kale smoothies. Again. That was funny.
Yes, that was funny.
Bree and Luke, they are at the bridge and they talk about her short story again. He says it's so much better than before and so moving and that she really captured it.
See, Bree, it pays off when you ask for help from somebody who knows,
Yeah. Mick comes in after Bree leaves and has a conversation with Luke. And Luke can tell that something is off with Mick because he starts getting lightheaded. Like he's going to faint. Luke can tell that something is off with Mick because he used to be an alcoholic. So he's been there and says that stuff can get away from the best of us.
See, I really appreciate the fact that, Luke's trying to be helpful here.
Yeah.
And, he's not doing this because, he wants to get at Mick or he wants to, make Mick feel bad or anything. He's just trying to help.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I really feel for Luke because he's in a tough position, not just because, he sees this, but also because obviously, he's dating Mick's daughter and because, he's, works for him and he's just in a tough position all around.
Yeah.
And he's trying to do the right thing here.
Yeah.
So I feel for Luke and I appreciate the fact that, he's trying. Yeah.
Abby and Evan go on their second date. This is another favorite moment.
I love this. This is definitely, besides Jess talking about her best date with David, this is my favorite scene. Yeah. Those two take the cake for this episode for me. Yes.
Evan says, "It's a jazz club on a yacht." I love that line. As he's getting out of the car, I think.
Yeah.
And then Abby opens the trunk and he says, "You're not going to ask me to help you dispose of a body,
are you?"
No. Abby grew up going crabbing with her dad and, of course, her siblings, too.
Yeah.
And she thought Evan would enjoy trying something new. And
I love that. It's personal. I mean, I would love to go on a date like that. I think that's such a cool and unique thing, and especially since it's something personal that Abby did growing up. I love that she's doing. She never took trace crabbing that we know of anyway. No. I love that. It's so cute.
Evan loves seafood, especially crab. So he agrees that it would be something fun to do.
Yeah.
They go crabbing, and I believe they catch
a
2
couple
or 3
crabs. Yeah.
After that, they see a seal and have a conversation while sitting by the fire.
Oh, I love this.
They're holding hands. and watching the sunset.
Well, I just love that scene where Evan like looks over at her. He sees that her hands kind of extended out over the chair.
Yeah.
And he just grabs it. And I was like, oh, so sweet. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Jumping to Jess and David. They are at the B&B, and I believe that they are getting ready for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Alex shows up. She tells them that she didn't say she was coming because she didn't know herself and didn't have much of a choice. She couldn't stay in Boston either. The press is still going crazy and going through their trash. They're also paying staff members trying to get the dirt.
Oh, that's
disgusting.
Yeah. As Jess says, right?
Yes.
I believe, yes. Disgusting. How dare they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not cool.
Not cool. Funny moment. Megan telling Connor about getting more kale and giving him the Irish sea moss tea.
Oh, yes. Can I just say that tea, it looked a little disgusting, but at the same time, I mean, if it really does all that she says it does, I want to try that.
Yeah. Abby, later in the episode, she says
I know, I love this.
Headaches and cramps, and
cures
there was
so
something
much
else.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But yet she didn't even want to drink because she gave it to a plant, and she said that plant lived for a very long time because of it. So if it does that to a plant, imagine what it can do to a human.
Yeah. I love when Connor says, well, not to be rude, but this is probably the worst thing I've ever tasted. And Megan says, well, the Irish have been drinking it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And then Connor actually goes to drink the tea, and he says, ugh, you can really taste the iron.
Yeah.
Margaret comes by again, and she and Connor have another conversation on the back porch. She tells him how the first part of the bar exam went, which was the essay portion. The following day is multiple choice. She tells him that she thinks it went really well, which is exciting. The funniest moment of that scene was Connor offering Margaret the tea.
Oh, yes.
After she wants to know what the smell is. And lifts the cup up, and he's like, you want some? And she's like, hard pass.
Hard pass. She's like, yeah, I'm not kissing you. That's what I thought. As soon as she said, I'm like, yep, meaning she's not going to kiss you for a while.
No.
So funny.
Back to the B&B again. Jess, David, Alex, and Deidre are just finishing lunch. And the lovely press shows up right outside their window.
Oh my goodness. Like literally right there where they're eating. I was like, that could not be worse timing.
Nope. Jess gets up and she immediately calls Connor for advice on what to do. Connor says to call the police because the press is trespassing and they can force them off their property.
Yeah. I felt so bad for Jess that she had to get up and go to the window and shut those curtains. I was like, oh, Jess. But
also,
I was very proud of her.
You, Jess.
I know. I'm so proud of her, though. She's come such a long way.
She says, this is not only our business, but it's also our home. Please respect that. And if you can't be respectful, then at least be mobile and get off my lawn.
Yeah, you tell him, Jess. Yeah, she goes right up to that door, opens the door, and of course, you know, the cameras are at her and they like want to know like about the pecs and stuff. And she's not having it. She's just like, nope, you get off my lawn. I was like, way to go, Jess. There you go.
I think somebody made a GIF of that.
Oh, I bet they did.
And
that was gold. Yes, that was great.
On Sunday, yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
Mick goes to the doctor and gets his cast off. He tells his doctor that he's out of the prescription he was given and wants a refill. Mick,
here we go.
What are you
Here
doing?
Here we go. And the doctor tells him that he's fine. He doesn't need them.
Yeah. Just take an ibuprofen if you ever need it.
Yeah.
Get off the painkillers or the opioids is what the doctor says.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I love the moment when Bree, Abby, Jess, and Connor are getting things ready for dinner. They're setting the table and they start talking about the place settings with the fork and the knife and the spoon.
Right. Yeah. I mean, who really does know how to do that?
I took cotillion. I learned it when I was at cotillion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did too when I took home ec class, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. I love how Jess says, what? I run a B&B.
Right. Of course Jess would know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of this scene though, when, all the siblings are like, Connor's really trying to influence them to, get their mom to go work at the Getty. I wasn't a huge fan of that just because, like I said, like, I think, Megan's making the right decision here. And yes, it's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice for her family. And I mean, Jess wasn't even really sure about it. She wasn't like, she wants her mom to be happy, but even Jess wasn't like feeling super great about it either. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the support that they give her. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, no, of course. The support is nice, but the fact that, I don't know, I just wasn't a huge fan of Connor trying to get all the siblings to like tell her to go, I was like, Connor, come on. Come on.
Yeah. Also in this scene, Abby talking about her second date with Evan, and Bree says, did the snake farm have a gift shop?
Wow. Okay. So now we apparently Bree really wants to go to the snake farm. So now Luke needs to take her there. We know where they're going. Now Abby needs to go tell Luke to take Bree there.
Yeah. Take Bree to the snake farm.
Yes. Because apparently she really wants to go.
Of course, we already talked about it, but Abby's comment about dumping the tea was hilarious.
Yes, that was funny. So good.
Mick gets home and goes to wash up after being at the doctor.
And he goes into his drawer
looking for
I don't know about you, but when I watched this originally, the way they shot it, they made it seem like something was going to happen to him.
Yes,
right there.
Okay,
there.
I'm glad that was not just me, because
it wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. I knew it wasn't going to happen because I've seen the episode descriptions for the next couple of episodes, so I knew at that point that it wasn't going to happen. But I was like, "Oh, they're setting it up to make us think that something's going to happen right now."
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
That was that scene was very well shot, very dramatic.
I thought
definitely foreshadowing.
I thought that he was going to like faint and be lying on the floor, and then
I know
one of the siblings come in and find him.
Yeah. Well, when he was walking down those stairs, that's when I was like, I know it's not going to happen now. It's going to happen in a few episodes, but like the way they shot, that was very well done.
Yes. And spoiler, in the preview for episode 4, we see him have a fender bender. And Gregory is back.
Woo, Gregory, Uncle Thomas, we miss you. Woo. Yeah. Yes.
Shout out.
Well, yes, we're getting ahead of ourselves though.
I just had to mention.
Yes, 2 more episodes to go, but yes, we love Gregory.
Yes. The scene to end off the episode is the family dinner. And we always love those family dinners around the O'Brien table.
Yes. I think we all wish we could be a part of those dinners.
Yeah. what they were having for dinner sounded really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was Irish stew, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Gotta love a good stew.
Yes. Like we mentioned a couple minutes ago, all the siblings agree that Megan should take the job.
Mm-hmm.
I do love Bree's line to Megan. She says, in the end, you really only regret the chances you didn't take and the decisions you were too afraid to make.
Mm-hmm. But I think that can also apply to when Megan left and everything she, like, I think this applies not to just now, but to the decisions that, you know, that she didn't make, you know, the decision that she didn't make to stay. And like just like other things too. And I think, you know, it takes courage to be able to stay too.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, once again, I stick by what I say about I think she should stay there. But I do appreciate the fact that, you know, that they're all trying to be supportive of her.
Yeah, I do too. In the end, she decides to take the job and go to Los Angeles.
Yes. Yes. And we will see how that turns out in a couple episodes. But I have a feeling she's not going to make it there very easily. Or she's going to make it there and she's going to have to turn right back around and come back home to where she belongs. Yeah. But not for a good reason. Yeah. Oops. Time will tell.
Yes, time will tell.
Well, Chessies, I think that wraps up our discussions by the shore of episodes 1 and 2 of Chesapeake Shore Season 6. We're so excited that we finally got to chat about these episodes. We know we're a little bit late, but we're going to try our best to get caught up with the remainder of the episodes of the season.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed and have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. And we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye, Chessies.